There's a quick video that should be food for thought for those who think that Donald Trump putting the embassy in Jerusalem is a good idea. You know, those guys, they're all real estate guys. Trump, Kushner, all those guys. And, you know, you got to see that they have something in it for themselves. Here we go. You know, the funny thing is Fox doesn't have this on any of their broadcasts. I've been looking for it.
The Jerusalem church on the site where Christians believe Jesus was crucified and buried was closed for a second day in a protest against government officials. Leaders of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre say the government is systematically attacking Christians because of a new local tax on church properties and a proposed law in Israel's parliament that would allow the state to buy up land that churches have sold off to private groups. Jerusalem's mayor defended the tax and said it applies to church-owned properties like hotels and businesses, not churches themselves.
Experience Sunday Mass at the place where they believe Christ rose from the dead draws pilgrims from around the world to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. But this Sunday, the Greek Orthodox, Armenian and Catholic churches which jointly run the site announced its abrupt closure, protesting against measures which they say would constrain their rights over church property.
This reminds us all of laws of a similar nature which were enacted against the Jews during the dark periods in Europe. This systematic and unprecedented attack against Christians in the Holy Land severely violates the most basic, antiqua and sovereign rights.
The church leaders say they face a twin attack, first in the shape of a demand by Jerusalem city government for what it says is more than $180 million in back taxes, and secondly, from proposed legislation which would seize retroactively for the state church land sold to private companies. Well, Sundays in the square outside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre are always thronged with tourists and Christian pilgrims, many of whom have traveled a long way to see this most important holy site. It's always an atmosphere of emotion. Today, the chief atmosphere, though, is one of disappointment.
We believe that Jesus Christ died, and if he was buried here, we would have liked just to go there and have the historic point, the view, that way we'd be able to understand it better.
I don't know the sides of the parties involved, but, it certainly is going to get the public attention to do this, and hopefully it drives a quicker conclusion.
The Christian Patriarchates own large areas of often prime real estate in and around Jerusalem, much of it leased to the state. Palestinians have criticized the Greek Orthodox Patriarch for selling property inside the Old City to Jewish settler groups and others. Jerusalem's municipal leaders say only properties being used for religious activities should be tax exempt, not those rented commercially. They've already frozen about $9 million in assets of the Greek Orthodox Church.
We're talking about other places that the church owns, such as hotels, and they have been exempt wrongly from paying city taxes for years and years and years. And the mayor at the moment is trying to correct a wrong that was done that affects us, Jerusalem residents, every single day.
A ministerial discussion on the bill to allow seizure of already sold church land has been postponed to next week. The author of the proposed law says it's designed to protect the rights of those living on the land from often anonymous offshore entities. Church leaders say their long-established rights are being trampled in what they call an attempt to weaken the Christian presence in Jerusalem. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, occupied East Jerusalem.